All right, let's take a look at the circuit. So this circuit has two main parts. We have the LED part here, and then we have the button part here. So our LED is going to be wired into this digital pin 9, which we're going to configure to be an output. So when we have current flowing through this wire, because the digital pin is set to state high, the LED is going to get turned on, and we're making sure to wire it through a 220 ohm resistor as well to make sure we don't damage it. And so for the button component here, we have it wired directly to power, as well as through digital pin 8 as an input, so that when this button is pressed, this circuit between this red wire and this green wire here is completed, and this digital pin 8 input will detect a state of high. And we're also making sure to use a 10,000 ohm pull down resistor here, which is going to make sure that when we're not pressing the button, this digital pin 8 is always going to be at a state of low. Let's take a look at the code now. All right, so jumping into the code here, we should mention that we are using the Platform IO extension, which is going to make it a lot easier to connect the Arduino to our host computer here in VS Code. The first thing we're doing here is we're setting up the DDR on port B, the data direction register, which is going to tell us which pins are going to be inputs and which are outputs. And since pin 8 is an input, and it corresponds to port B0, we're setting the 0th bit here to 0, which is an input, and then pin 9, which is port B1, we're setting it to 1 because it's an output. And so looking at our loop here, we're checking if pin 8, which corresponds to our switch, if we're seeing if the switch is pressed. In that case, we want to set pin 9 to high, which is going to power the LED on. Otherwise, if we're not pressing the switch, we want to set pin 9 to low, which means that our LED will not be powered on. Let's look at the results.